Hey there, and welcome back to our second installment of our Common Sense series. These are topics that I get questions about all the time as a personal trainer and as a certified nutrition coach. And I'm trying to just break it down, give you the high level information, and just take a common sense approach because the wellness industry, it's crazy and it's telling you to do a lot of things. Like implementing all of the things, it's a full-time job. I mean, we don't even have time to do it all. And so what my hope and my goal is to give you the research-backed information and from there invite you to figure out how that can apply to you, not to the influencer, not to your friend, but to you and your body and your schedule and what is accessible to you. Today's topic is lifting heavy or heavy lifting, because chances are you have seen the post that you need to lift heavy or you need to go heavy or go home, and women need to lift heavy weights. And maybe your reaction is something like, okay, but what does that mean? Like, what is lifting heavy? And if you're thinking this way, you're not alone. I have been thinking about this from the perspective of someone who is not a fitness professional. I have over 20 years of experience as a fitness professional. I'm a certified personal trainer. And to be honest, like there's so much noise out there that even I get a little like, whoa, is what I'm doing not good enough? And I never want you to think that what you are doing is not good enough. I do want to provide you information of what lifting heavy means so that you can figure out if that's something that you want to include. And absolutely, it has benefits. But you know what? It's not going to have any benefits if you don't do it because you don't like it. And if you're doing something that you like doing but doesn't qualify as lifting heavy, but you're still strength training, then keep doing that, okay? I am not coming in here and telling you how to work out. I'm telling you one way that is shown to have a lot of benefits, and then you get to choose if that seems sustainable and realistic to you. So first, let's just get this out of the way. Heavy is relative. There is not one certain amount of weight of pounds or kilograms that counts as lifting heavy. It's about your challenge level relative to you right now and today, not where you used to be and not where you want to be, but where you are today. There is a helpful scale called the rate of perceived exertion, and it is basically a number scale between 1 and 10, and it asks you, how hard are you working? 1 is like you're practically asleep. 10 is you cannot work any harder. When we are lifting heavy, what we are looking for is about an RPE, rate of perceived exertion, on a scale of about 8. So that means that you're working pretty darn hard, but there's still a little left in the tank. You're working at about 80% effort. So if you finish a set and think, okay, well, I can do about 2 more, then that's kind of where you want to be. When I am personal training in person and we have gone up in weight, she'll say, how many do you want? And I say, go until you have 2 left in the tank. And that is a great starting point for that lifting heavy, because she has earned her way into lifting heavy, which I'll talk about here in a second. And it is more about how can we get to that RPE of 8, not how can we get to a certain number of reps. Which leads to the second thing that I want to just mention is I want you to earn your heavy. Now look, that does not mean that I don't want you lifting a lot. However, NASM, which is my certifying provider, National Academy of Sports Medicine, has what's called an OPT model. And it's basically a stair step. I won't get into this right here, but if you want to hear a more expanded version of that, you could go to the expanded version of this conversation over at the episode, What Does Lifting Heavy Mean? That's in season 24, episode 2. And if you want more on all of this, you can definitely go listen to that. But the OPT model has you working your way up. And so when I say I want you to earn your heavy, what I mean is I want you to start at a lower weight. If you are not used to lifting weights, start low. Get your form right. Get comfortable with how your body feels when you are doing those movements. Get comfortable and learn how it feels to be working a very small deltoid movement, which are, your deltoids are your shoulders. If you're watching on YouTube, you see me touching my shoulders right now. That is going to require a different weight than if you are deadlifting or if you are squatting. And so I want you to figure all of that out as best you can before you go start trying to lift heavy as much as you can. Earn your heavy, because what that does is it builds a very solid foundation in your strength so that you can add on to it. Now, why are we hearing so much right now about lifting heavy or, moving heavy things? And I'm one of the ones saying that as well. I want you doing that once you have that foundation. So here's the science of this. We have two different types of muscle fibers. One of them is slow twitch fibers. Those are going to be your muscle endurance. Those are walking, you're going to be holding a plank, anything that you do for a long period of time. This is also exercises like if you do a bar class and you are doing the same movement for like a minute, this is going to be more of your endurance. And actually in that OPT model I was talking about, that is your strength endurance, which is the second level. Then the other type of muscle fiber, so you have slow twitch for the endurance type. You also have fast twitch, which are more of your power fibers. Those are what is going to contract quickly and contract forcefully. These are the muscles that you use when you are lifting very heavy and few reps, because you are contracting those quickly and forcefully to get that up. Whereas if you are, or get it down or whatever you're doing. Whereas if you are doing more of an endurance, then it's not going to have that force that you are used to having. Those fast twitch fibers are also the ones that will catch you when you trip, that will help you move quickly when you need to. And this is important because as estrogen declines, whether you are in perimenopause or postmenopause, we lose those fast twitch fibers faster than we are losing our slow twitch ones. So we have talked about sarcopenia on here, which is basically the age-related loss of muscle, which happens and can be minimized with adequate strength training and with adequate protein. But our fast twitch muscles are, I guess I should go down. If you're watching on YouTube, those are going down at a steeper rate than the slow twitch ones. Lifting heavy is one of the very few ways that we can recruit and maintain them. The other thing that will work really well with that is like plyometric training, especially if you can do that barefoot, if it's safe for you to do it without shoes on, that's super helpful. Sprinting, going as fast as you can on the bike, on the treadmill, on the elliptical, really not saving anything left for after like a 20 to 30 second interval. But those are the things that recruit the fast twitch fibers. When we talk about lifting heavy, we're not talking about like making our muscles as big as possible. We're talking about keeping the kind of muscle that will help keep you moving quickly, that will help keep you upright and mobile and capable for the rest of your life. This is why we want to be lifting heavy, so we can keep those fast twitch muscles engaged and active and ready so that we don't fall when we trip. You are probably familiar with how scary falls and especially hip fractures can be in women, and training our body to respond quicker is a great way to mitigate that. In addition to those muscles, lifting heavy also has bone density benefits. That is when your muscles are pulling hard against the bones during heavier work. Your muscles are contracting. It is pulling the tendons that attach the muscle to the bone. And so when it's pulling that bone, it signals the bones to stay strong. I talked more about this in season 23, episode 9, called The Bone Battle No One Is Talking About, How Strength Changes Everything. So if you want to learn a little bit more about the physiological impact of strength training on our bones, that's a great one to go listen to. The other thing too is there's a metabolic piece to this. And look, even though I am intuitive eating focused, I am weight neutral, I also know that we care about our metabolism and care that everything is running and churning as optimally as we can. When you recruit those fast twitch muscle fibers, your body keeps burning at a slightly higher rate for hours after an intense session. So one more reason to go with heavy and to go with an intensity that you will have benefits from later. These are real reasons that show up on how you feel and you function, and not just look. I mean, yeah, I want to look good too. I mean, I get it. But also I care more about how my body is feeling than how it looks at this point in the game. So what does lifting heavy actually look like? So first of all, you don't need a barbell. You don't need a gym. You don't need to go out on, I don't even know what beach it is in California that has like all of the bodybuilders. Like, that's not what we're talking about. The important thing is that we are using movements that your body already knows how to do, which I'll tell you about in a second, and using resistance that is challenging to your body. So when I talk about movements that your body already knows how to do, these are called functional movements. There are 6 of them. And basically, these are the 6 movements that mimic everyday life. That's push, pull, squat, hinge, single leg, and then depending on who's talking about it, it's either transverse, which is kind of going across the body, or it is a carry. Either way, those are the things that mimic your everyday life, and those are your 6 functional movements. So these mimic the patterns that you're already doing. You know, you're carrying groceries, you're getting up off the floor, you're going down into a chair and then standing up from a chair. It's interesting, my mom had her second knee replacement surgery, and one of the things that the physical therapist told her is, I want you to practice standing up from a seated position without using your arms. Like, that's a great way to be challenging ourselves with a functional movement, because her knees were so bad that she had to use her arms, and now that is habit for her. But if we can take our arms out of that, then that is one of those functional movements that we're talking about. As far as equipment goes, with the resistance, try to use what you already have. So number 1, you have your body weight, and body weight can be done really well with just about everything, except it's very difficult to get pulling in there. So pulling is if we're pulling something away from us. Now, maybe you can do a pull-up. If so, I'm so proud of you and I'm very happy for you. I have not tried one in a long time, but the last time I did try it, I think I got like 1 or 1.5. Pull-ups are hard, especially, I mean, with our own body weight. That's a lot of weight that we're pulling up. And that's one reason why I love resistance bands so much. There's one particular kind I really like, and I'll put that in the show notes and in the description on YouTube, but it is a pack of 5 bands. I think it's 5, maybe it's 6, with interchangeable handles that, number 1, you can combine. So you can put 2 bands on or 3 bands, and you can really increase that resistance more so than just having 1 band. Secondly, I like the kind that has fabric around it, because these bands don't last forever. I've had 2 different kinds since 2018. So they last a decent amount, especially for a $35 to $40 item. I mean, that's a great value, but if they pop, if it has fabric around it, it's not going to pop you in the face or pop you in the stomach or arm. And all of these have happened to my clients in the past when we've been working out a lot with regular resistance bands. So I just like it from a safety mechanism, and the value is really great. Again, it's between $35 and $40 depending on the day on Amazon. You can also use dumbbells. You can use machines. If you're someone who just likes to walk in and do machines, go for it. What I would encourage you to do is look at the figure on the machine, and the bigger muscles that they are covering, the better. So rather than doing something that just works your triceps or just works your biceps, I'd rather you do something that has your entire chest covered or your entire back, because those are going to be the ones that really focus on the functional movements. This is a generalized statement, of course, and you'll get the most value for your time. Of course, you can use barbells if you like barbells or kettlebells. I mean, anything that has weight. So you don't have to have like one type of what we call modality in order for it to qualify as resistance, but you do want to have something. Again, body weight works great, but try to find something so you can add in pulls, because that is so important as we get older. If you want to get really specific with, lifting heavy, what that means is you are wanting to do something between 1 and 6 reps around 85 to 90% RPE, or 85 to 90% effort, which means you can only get a few reps out and then you're done. And then you're like, help, spotter, or you're dabbing out, I think is what the kids say. I probably should know that better before I say that. But like, you're not getting very many in. Lifting heavy does not mean picking up some weights and doing something for 15 reps. That is resistance training. That is strength training, but that is not what is defined as lifting heavy in terms of that OPT model. And we're talking about like what's called max strength. So that's really just like 1 to 6 reps at that very high intensity. That is lifting heavy. I want to reiterate, if you are not doing that and you are doing something between 8 or 10 or 12 or 15 reps, great. That's resistance training. That is still good for you. It's just not the lifting heavy, and particularly you're not going to get those fast twitch muscle responses that we are looking for. You want to do this between 2 and 3 times a week, making sure that you are giving your body real recovery time in between. If you are not sure what recovery means, and if you are sore all the time, go back and listen to that episode that I did just a few weeks ago. I want to reiterate, you do not have to do this max strength training to benefit from strength training. If you are newer to this or coming back after a break, start lighter. I do this with my clients all the time. If we have been building, and then we're off for a week or a couple sessions, we'll go back a little bit just to make sure that everything is fine before we continue on our progressive overload. We want to gradually increase our challenge over time, not just totally jump in because somebody told us that we're supposed to lift heavy. Also, keep in mind, your heavy will vary from session to session. Some days you're going to lift more, some days you're going to lift less. How has your nutrition been? How has your sleep been? How has your stress been? All of these are going to influence how your body responds. This is not failure. This is your body communicating. So the question isn't, what's the number? It's, am I working hard enough that I'm close to my edge today? So take each session individually. If you want to track all your stuff, great, go for it. But just add a little buffer in there. So the bottom line is lifting heavy doesn't have to be extreme. It just means challenging your muscles enough to keep those fast twitch muscles active. It'll help keep your bones strong and help keep your body capable of doing what you're called to do now and decades from now. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just need to start somewhere, stay consistent, and keep your trend going. That is the common sense approach to lifting heavy. Okay, that is all for today. Go out there and have a graced day.